Thank you all for joining us for this week's Let's Eat with me, Abby. Hey! Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Time, I just like to fill you up on some knowledge with all things dental, some experts that are out there that know all about different fields within dental. So although you may be eating, when I say eat, I'm talking about our lifetime patient formula to generate loyal patients for life, and that stands for educate, automate, and target. Educate, automate, and target. So today I have a special guest with me, Katie. She is the program director of Smile Advantage, and she's going to talk about the advantages of a membership program with patient communications. Yay! So thank you so much, Katie, for joining me.
Yeah, thank you, Abby, for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yes. So for those of you people that don't know you, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Smile Advantage.
Okay, yeah. So I actually started my dental career as a dental office manager, and I managed a small private practice in St. Louis, Missouri for about 5 years. And it was actually in our practice that I helped my dentist to start an in-office membership program back in 2014 called Smile Advantage. It came out of the recognition that, the practice was suffering in response to all of the insurance write-offs and drastic fee reductions. And we also saw that a lot of our patients were getting frustrated with just the overall expense and limitations of insurance. And so from these frustrations kind of stemmed the idea of we need a solution to these problems. And so we started an in-office membership program. And it was wildly successful for us in a very short period of time. So then my dentist had me help get close colleagues up and going with similar programs. Those 3 dentists then started the company, and now Smile Advantage is a nationwide company helping other dentists to see success from offering this model of care to their patients.
Oh my gosh, I love that story. The fact that you started from actually implementing it and needing it as a solution is so powerful.
It's been fun to be part of the whole process, and I'm super passionate about what I do, and it's fun to be able to tell offices like, hey, I was in your shoes. Like, I understand and recognize the frustrations that you and your patients are up against every single day. So
yeah, what a leverage point too. Just be able to, you don't have to put yourself because you were in their shoes, and this is the solution that you can relate it. That's so amazing. So explain how it helps your practice and just advantages. I love your guys' name, by the way. Smile Advantage. I'm gonna play off of that all day. But no, tell us the advantages of a membership program, because these are becoming so prevalent in today's dentistry that practices are just needing this. It's vital. But why do you what are the advantages, and why do you think it helps practices, not only as an office manager, but as a doctor, as a business owner?
Well, you nailed it on the head when you said they're becoming vital. Membership programs have been around for several years, actually, but you're absolutely right. They've become very prevalent in the past few years. And it's funny because back when we got started, dental consultants would always mention how membership programs were a competitive edge and practices were missing out if they didn't have one in place. But now, kind of post-COVID, I guess we're still kind of living in this crazy pandemic, but it's getting better. But we have found that just with how much the economy has changed and how many people have lost their jobs and lost their insurance, the number of uninsured Americans has gone from 92 million up to 130 plus million since the start of COVID. And so because of that, we're finding that these membership programs are really becoming, like you said, a vital component of any dental practice. It's a great way for dentists to retain their cash paying patients. It's a way for a practice to essentially build a loyalty program. It's a great way to motivate patients to accept more treatment because of the discount that's being offered with the membership program. It's a great way to reactivate patients that a practice may have lost due to job changes or loss of insurance. It's a great way to kind of reconnect with those lost patients. It's also a great way to convert patients. So, patients who are frustrated with the cost and limitations of insurance, oftentimes they're looking for another option to turn to. They don't really know what that alternative option is. And so this gives a practice the opportunity to kind of promote another option to those patients. And what's nice about it is that practices are promoting a program that they are in complete control of. And then, of course, it's a great way to gain new patients as well. So we see that this membership concept, when practices implement a program, there are so many different ways in which they can measure the overall success that the program is having on the practice. And I think ultimately what it comes down to is, with just how much the dental profession has changed and how drastic insurance has changed, I think it's really a way that dentists can shift away from being so insurance dependent and kind of regain some of that control of their practice, offering a program that they remain completely in control of and keep 100% of their fee.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's when I pull up the slide again, it's like all of these are crucial elements. Obviously, like these are all the things that all practices need help and to increase. So the fact that you provided this for one, rolled down how much this has, and then the fact that you it's control. I always preach about this when it comes to patients as well. Like patients want control, to be able to determine. They want control over their appointments. They want control over the treatment they accept. And that's the same with doctors. You should want that as a customer as well. Remember, the program is having control of what to decide. It is your practice. It is your business. It is your funding. That you would be having. Let's make sure you have control over the charges that you're making and how to actually benefit and invest in the practice versus just paying some.
Right.
Pull this up too to talk about why membership plans work. Why do you think membership plans work?
Well, I'll tell you, what we have found is that a membership program is essentially a subscription to a dental practice. So it's just like having a Costco membership office or having a gym membership to a dental office. And, in this day and age, whether it's dentistry or Blockbuster versus Netflix or Amazon Prime, we have found that the fee system is a broken system. The subscription model has proven to be a very successful business strategy. And these pictures right here are a perfect example. Subscriptions work. People, when they belong to a subscription, they have a secure feeling that they're getting a good deal. And so, it motivates them to return and to spend more money. And, I'm a perfect example of the Costco subscription and how it really gets me to spend a lot of money with them. Every Sunday after my husband and I have a tradition of going to Costco, and my husband always questions me every Sunday, like, do we really need to go? We just $1 there last Sunday. And I'm like, yeah, we need to go. And he's like, okay, well, we're going to go in and get the 3 things that you say you need, and then we're going to get out of there. Well, I know it never works that way. And 2 hours later, oftentimes both he and I are pushing a cart full of stuff, and it's not a $400 bill at Costco. But it's like when you're in the moment and you see all these great deals, you're motivated to purchase them and to spend the money. And that's what we find with membership programs in dentistry too. When you have a patient who's coming in every 6 months for recare, and you're constantly asking that patient for money every time they come up front to check out, that's discouraging. And again, it's where the fee system is broken, and it's definitely not going to motivate patients to want to return or to accept a treatment that was proposed, because it's going to cost them more money. Whereas with the membership program subscription model, patients are essentially paying a membership fee that's going to cover their preventive care for the year. So they're not getting hounded every time they come in trying to collect money from them. And then with the treatment discounts that are offered with a membership program, it does motivate those patients to accept more treatment, because again, they feel like they're getting a good deal and they want to utilize the subscription that they've purchased.
Yeah. Absolutely. It creates loyalty. I mean, at the end of the day, they're buying into your practice. And I love that you say that. Especially when you see the average spend true, I'm going to pay more with people I'm invested with. Like if I already have a membership with you, that means I'm committed to you. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to look anywhere else because I'm paying my monthly bill towards your practice. And I mean, you can't buy that. You can't have otherwise top bad reviews that are happening are typically insurance based. It's because they thought they were going to pay a specific amount. They blame the practice, and practice doesn't have control over that. They only can charge what they can charge, you know. So, but as a patient, I did not know that until I worked in dental, and that's why I also love membership programs. It's because you're buying into the practice. It's a belief system almost for that, and you have full control again to control those fees and to make sure that those bad reviews are not. You can fully explain what's included.
Right, exactly. It's just it's clear and concise, and it takes a lot of the questioning out of the equation.
Yeah. Well, you talked about treatment acceptance as well. How it increased treatment acceptance. So explain that a little bit more, because that might be something where people are like, well, aren't you sure about that? Like, how does it help increase treatment acceptance?
Sure. So with the membership program, as I've mentioned, usually the dentists will charge their patients a monthly or an annual membership fee. And the membership fee typically will cover the preventive visits throughout the year, so the routine appointments. So then, in addition to having the preventive covered, most dentists will also, as part of the membership program, offer their patients a treatment discount on anything above and beyond what's included. And, discount percentage oftentimes sits somewhere between like 15 and 30%. It's usually a discount off of the doctor's master fees. And what it does is it motivates those cash patients to accept more treatment. So, those cash patients that maybe are pretty good about coming in regularly for their routine care, oftentimes they'll sit for years outstanding treatment plans because again, they don't want to spend the extra. And they're not going to spend the extra money. And oh no, my tooth just cracked in half. Now I need a crown that was recommended 3 years ago. So it motivates patients. They've already bought into the subscription. Now they're getting their subscription. So it really pushes them and motivates them to move forward with the treatment. And, it really gives dentists an opportunity to discuss comprehensive care with their patients, not sitting down in the consultation room, playing that insurance game of, okay, well, you need, $10,000 worth of work, but you're insured for a year. So we're going to start with, tooth number 20. And then next year when your benefits renew, we'll go to tooth number 22, and we'll just keep, kind of prioritizing what can be done based on playing that insurance game. Whereas with your membership patients, doctors can sit down, they can present the whole treatment plan, and then they can confidently follow that up with like, hey, and by the way, we have an office membership program that's going to allow you to receive unlimited discounts on all of this work that you need to have done.
Oh, that is such a better conversation to have. May or may, and that's true too. A lot of times you have to have that treatment plan, and there's stages or phases, and based on whatever somebody's comfortable with. But to look at it, because overall it's about patient health. It's about taking care of them. And man, what a load off of you to make sure that you can actually say this is what's best for you, a percentage discount versus the timeline versus we're waiting next year for this, or you're literally pulling teeth for that. Like that's just not, you shouldn't have to. You should
right. And it's allowing the dentist and the patient to regain control of that patient's oral health, and it's eliminating the third party from dictating the care that they can have done. So doctors love it, patients love it. It's a win-win for both.
Absolutely. And I'm curious, because since you implemented this from the beginning at your practice, like what were the barriers that you were finding that really made you want to, not to put you on the spot, really want you to implement something like this? Like, how did you come up with this based on your own experiences?
Like, why did we start the membership program?
Yeah.
we had an insurance coordinator, and we would pay her to spend 40 plus hours a week doing nothing but dealing with the headaches and hassles of dental insurance. And, she sat up in our front office, and her desk often looked like a train wreck from all the piles of EOBs and the denied claims. And she often had a scowl on her face because she was so frustrated with her job and the day in and day out tasks that were ahead of her. And so we often had times had to remind her, hey, smile. It's frustrating, but the patients can see you and they can sense that frustration, and at the end of the day, she was frustrated. We were paying her, like I said, a 40 plus hour salary to do nothing but deal with insurance, and insurance and all of the drastic changes and fee reductions was really eating away at our bottom line. It was almost like, okay, are we making money or are we paying to be in this network? And so that was really cutting into our profit margins. And then we always did our best, as most practices do, to always estimate what the patient's out-of-pocket portion was going to be with their insurance. But we all know that's a guessing game until that claim processes. And so it was never fun having to make those phone calls or have those conversations with patients like, hey, we told you it was going to be $300 out of pocket, but actually the way that your claim processed, you actually owe us $1,000, and it was hurting the relationship piece between us and our patients. Patients were confused. They were frustrated. They were asking us, like, are there any other options to turn to? I mean, some patients were actually asking for a membership program. So that's why we were like, okay, we need to do something.
Yeah. And that's a big thing too. When they ask for it, patients are more knowledgeable than ever before just because they can be. They can research options. They can look at your competition. They can look up people that have membership programs and go to the practice because of that. If they're looking into it, it's just like having a CAD cam or, like having different technologies. They're able to look it up, see the advantages of it, and say, ooh, I want to invest into a practice versus not. Like, I'm sick of being burned by insurance. I'm sick of not knowing what my actual outcome is going to be with the price. So I can't imagine. That sounds so stressful. And I'm sure there's even high turnover when it comes to that too, as far as team. Like, if that's what you're inundated with day in and day out, like, done.
It was, and I think what really was kind of the driving factor for us was I went to a CE course kind of in the midst of all this chaos. Yeah. And I heard Dr. Charles Blair speak, and he's a big dental consultant, and he was talking about, dental codes to stop using and dental codes to start using and how to get reimbursed more for the claims that you're filing. And one of the things he said that I think kind of shed light on what we needed to do was he said, you can play the insurance game. It's a challenging game to play, but patients will drive up to 90 miles to see an in-network provider. So there are patients that are very insurance driven, and so having insurance in your practice is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that you have to be knowledgeable about how to play the game, and it's a hard game to play. But then that's when he also said, but what you also need to do, especially to cater to all of the uninsured patients, is you need to find a way to offer an option for them, to shift away from that mentality of being so insurance driven and have an option for the cash patients, because the cash patients are your goal, is the gold of the practice, right? Like, those are the patients you want to retain. Those are the patients you want to keep bringing in and, motivating to do treatment. So what do you have in place for them? And so hearing that, I was like, okay, I told my doctor, we have to start this. And that's what we did.
Yeah, that's talk about being at the right place at the right time. Like, have a light bulb and be like, that's it.
Exactly. Yes.
This is my sign.
Yes.
And I think that's key too when you're talking about making sure. We talk about this in marketing a lot too, right? Like, first off, when they come on with us, we talk about, if we hear people say, I want to get rid of my PPOs. I don't want to have that anymore. But I think that's such a great point that you have, is play the game, right, that you need to, but at the same time have an option for everybody, and making sure that what a great transition period as well. Like, you don't have to go and just eliminate all your PPOs and go all in, but you can have that option. And then we have goals, right? Like they'll be like, I want to get rid of PPOs within 6 months or a year or 2 years or whatever. And it's like, we can track that based on results they're having. Like, okay, where are you at now? And how's this going? Because then you can go all in, but it's kind of chipping away at it, taking care of your patients. But when I say as far as marketing, yeah.
And to kind of piggyback off of that, a lot of times doctors do want to kind of have that goal of chipping away and getting out of some of those networks, which, is fine to do that. But I would definitely recommend that before a dentist does drop out of any of the PPOs, definitely make sure that you have a membership program well established and in place, so that as you do make those transitions and now you're having those conversations with the patients that, hey, we can still process your claims, but they're going to be processed as out of network now. You have a membership program to fall back on to offer those patients as kind of another option. And that will help with the retention piece as you do look to make some of those changes.
Oh, that's such a smart thing you said. I'm glad you said that tip, because that's so true. Don't just, oh yeah, we're good, we have it. You need to make sure it's established. You need to make sure that your team's all on the same page and that the patients understand that it's an offering that you have. Which leads me into my next one. Why I love you guys so much is you have a marketing element to Smile Advantage.
We do.
Yeah. Which is awesome. And you guys offer branded material to really promote the membership program. You are barking at my tree right now, because that's what we like. Don't just implement things in the office, but communicate it to your patients, educate them, get them excited about it. So why was this something that you guys wanted to make sure you provided with Smile Advantage? And explain, so I'm not like jumping the gun, explain what marketing you guys have included with your packages.
Yeah, that's why when you and I first talked a few months ago and we kind of discussed doing this, E.A.T episode together, I was really excited because, kind of Smile Advantage's philosophy is to basically, like what you always kind of promote, educate, automate, and target. And a membership program in your practice is awesome, but here's the deal. It's not going to sell itself. So if you have this program, but your team's not talking about it, you're not sending out email blast campaigns, you're not doing any marketing, it's not on your website, how are patients supposed to find out about it? And so that's where we really feel that, we as a company can help practices to become confident and comfortable with knowing how to present a membership program as an option to their patients. So that way they can start having kind of that education piece in place where the team is on board, they understand it, they can highlight the benefits of it to their patients, and they can start having those conversations. And, I guess with our marketing, one of the things that we have found is that obviously it's a great concept to promote internally, but we also want to encourage dentists, don't keep this great information inside of your four walls. Like, find ways to get this message outside of your practice and into the community, letting people know, like, hey, you don't need dental insurance to come to this dental practice because we have this great in-office membership program. And so that's one of the things, Smile Advantage has designed tons of custom marketing, whether it's digital ads or campaigns, different email blast campaigns. We have, specific web graphics that we're putting on the office's websites that we work with, but we're trying to find creative ways to help practices target, there's one of our words, target different groups of patients to really let them know that membership programs are an option. One of the misconceptions that a lot of dental offices have is that, okay, we have this membership program in place, we're going to promote this to our uninsured patients. That's it. Well, no, we say, no, you're wrong with thinking that. You need to promote this as an option to all of your patients. And, open enrollment is going to be coming up here in just a few months. And that is a prime time for practices to capitalize on promoting the membership concept to their patients with insurance. Because those patients who currently have insurance and who are considering their options during open enrollment for the following year, that's an awesome time to give them another option to consider. And that's where a lot of times practices will see success with that conversion piece, motivating the patients to drop the insurance and convert over to the membership program. So Smile Advantage, we help practices with all of this custom marketing, whether it's, again, digital ads, print ads, campaigns, whether it's email, video campaigns. We just really want to empower them to be proud of the fact that they have a membership program and give them the resources that they need to effectively promote it internally and externally. And then with the A and E, the automate, if you feel, I've been thinking about how I was going to tie the acronym into my
I love it.
but the automate thing, it's crucial that practices find a way to automate their membership program as well. Just because, again, you want to have patients set up on a program where their membership fees are going to be processed automatically, where the renewals are going to be processed automatically, where those payments that are processed can be posted into their dental software. Having a lot of that automation in place is going to streamline the process, and it's also going to kind of foolproof the process for the practice. Because if they're trying to manage all of the patients and all of the plans and all of the renewal dates and all of the payments, as you start to build your membership, patients do start to slip through the cracks. And so that's where having an automated system in place, which Smile Advantage offers that as well. We have a cloud-based tracking software that fully integrates into any practice management software. And that's where we can offer offices that automation piece that's crucial to a membership program as well. I get a lot of dentists that ask me, well, I'm already doing a membership program on my own, which is great. Obviously, they've already taken a hold of the idea that this is something great that they need to have. Where can Smile Advantage help them? And that's where I say, well, let us, work with you and offer you our software that, again, can kind of automate the process and just make the administration and management of the program that much easier.
Yeah, and you said that connects with the management software. So is that also, it sends out just automated messages, emails and text messages
to the patients? Yep.
Awesome.
It's great.
Yeah, that's amazing. And
we didn't have software, back in 2014 when we started, again, we knew very little, right, about membership programs. It was uncharted territory for us. So we were trying to manage a program on our own, and then we were trying to show other practices how to do it on their own. And we were like, whoa, we need software. And that's why we developed software.
Yeah. And that's brilliant. I mean, it really ties into, I love what you said, it's not going to sell on its own. So you really have to educate your patients, and you have to make it easy for them. It's one thing to really tell them about it, but automating your communications, educating your patients on the capabilities that it has, and making it easy for them to act. So with automations too, I even think of when you welcome a new patient, right? You're going to say, hey, we have an in-office savings plan. Ask us about it. Ask Tracy about it. She's at the bottom waving, right? And there's a direct link that they can call. And then maybe there's an educational email that goes out to all patients. And did you know that we have a membership program? And what this means for you? Discounted treatment. It means you can pay month to month and don't have to worry about insurance. Right. You can, just really giving the benefits of the patient so it relates to them, having a big call to action button that says sign up now, and they can easily sign up right online. They don't have to worry about stuff, and they're done. That's it. You're getting your monthly payments, and everybody's happy.
Right. And, it's so easy to pull and target different groups of patients from your software by different parameters. You could generate a campaign that goes out to all your retired senior patients, letting them know that, hey, we understand Medicare isn't giving you much or Medicare supplement plans are super expensive. So let us tell you about our membership program that we offer. Or you could pull your outstanding treatment report and all of those patients that have been sitting on those treatment plans for years, target those patients and say, hey, we understand that there's a lot of costs involved with dental care, and that's why we now have a membership program that offers you unlimited discounts. So there's so many creative ways that you can use the data that is already in your software and generate reports to target different audiences, and then put together those campaigns that are kind of geared towards them. And that's Smile Advantage helps practices do all of that. I think that's one of the things that really sets us apart from any of our competitors. And obviously it's, Ryan. Ryan's my marketing director. Yeah. He's amazing, and he's done great things for Smile Advantage and for our customers. And obviously we're all very passionate about marketing. So it definitely is a crucial aspect of having a program.
Yeah, and that's why we love being connected with you guys. It's just being, well, first off, because you have a lot of assets already pre-ready for us, that for the practices, which is really nice. But also just the fact that you're thinking about that. It's so nice to have stuff that's branded towards the practice. So they know it's custom to them. They know that it's their logo. They know it's their membership program, and it's not some other company or anything like that. It's very customized experience, which we're all about customization. So that's just what I appreciate with you guys, is having those customization moments, because those are what actually make it more effective. That's what makes marketing more effective, is custom touch points. So yes, we love that, and the fact that you thought of that, because a lot of times that goes unnoticed, which is also okay. That's how we have jobs. But yeah, explain a little bit more about Smile Advantage and how it works. So we talked a lot about membership programs. We talked about the benefits of it, but what makes Smile Advantage a little different other than marketing, and how does it work?
Yeah, so we basically, the first step of working together with a new practice is to really design a custom program for the practice. We give them guidance and suggestions, of course, of things that have worked well for other practices. We give them an equation that helps them to kind of analyze, what they're wanting to offer, and then based on their fees, what a healthy membership fee range would be for their area. So we definitely guide them through the process. We don't just say, oh, hey, great, you want to work with us. Okay, what do you want to offer? So we definitely give recommendations, but it is completely up to the office to decide what plans they offer, what price points they're charging, what services are included, what discount percentage is being offered. They even get to decide how to structure the payment of the program, whether it's monthly or annually. We can help them set it up either way. So that's really the first step, is to design that custom program. Ryan and our marketing team, they then put together all of the office's custom proofs. So everything that we feel that a practice is going to need to get started with their membership program, from patient registration forms and informational postcards and web graphics and office signage and email blast campaigns and social graphics. We put all of that together for them.
Just a few things.
What was that?
Just a few things. It's no big deal.
Yeah. And so we send that over to them. Once the office approves everything, we then print and ship all of the materials. So again, these are custom materials. They also get access to their digital files that have been customized for them as well. We do get them up and going with our tracking software. So like I said, our software does integrate with all practice management softwares, which again is kind of something that sets Smile Advantage apart from any of our competitors. So there's a lot of companies out there that are offering membership programs in some capacity. What really, I think, sets us apart from those competitors, a lot of people have software. We have software too, but it's that we have the integration piece, and a lot of other companies don't have that. Also, our entire team, we all have dental experience. So we've all been in the dental profession, and we understand the dental profession and what patients are looking for and what practices need. So, knowledge and expertise goes a long way for us. And then honestly, the marketing, there's a lot of companies again out there that will give you kind of templated materials, but that's where Ryan and his team are really working hard to make custom materials and campaigns for all of the offices that we work with. So I would say those are the biggest things that set us apart.
Absolutely. And when you talk about integration, I just want to drill that home a little bit too. Like, what all so they're able to set up the account through their management site? Like, how does that work? How does that benefit? Because that sounds super amazing. Yeah.
So they'll have a dashboard like let's just say that they're using EagleSoft. So every morning they come into the office, they open up and log into EagleSoft. They would open up and log into their dashboard for Smile Advantage. And so when a patient was ready to sign up for Smile Advantage, they would go to their dashboard. It would take them less than 30 seconds to enroll them online. The software would process the payment for them. It would then post that payment to their patient's EagleSoft account. And then it would send the patient an email receipt welcoming them to the program, sending them a receipt for the transaction that was processed. It will email them. It'll email the patient to kind of keep them up to date with any changes or updates to the program. It will communicate with them as to when their program is up for renewal. And then the software will also automate that renewal process. So it'll process that next yearly subscription fee, post it to the patient's EagleSoft account, and alert the office. For the practices that want to allow patients the option to pay monthly for the membership, the software can also automate those recurring monthly charges as well.
Awesome. That's
so it takes a lot of the legwork off of the front office team.
And you could tell that you worked in dental too to experience that, to understand that how important that is to like tie it together so you're not bouncing around as much, that it's all connected and just kind of peace of mind, right? When you talk about your office manager's all her papers on her desk and pulling her hair out.
It's one thing to have the software that will process the payments, but like what happens with a lot of like other companies is that it will then generate a report for the office, and then the office still has to go post all those payments to the ledger or to the account. But having the integration piece, again, it just eliminates one of those extra steps.
I can't believe that's even still a thing too. Like the fact that people fill out paperwork, and it's so common, and it always blows my mind. Like you want me to fill out this paper, and then you're going to take the paper and manually type it into these fields, and then you're going to process that every. What? It's crazy.
It's kind of crazy.
But I mean, I get it. You know, it's you're used to doing a certain routine, you're used to doing a certain thing, but understanding what other options are out there just helps with efficiency. It helps being able to invest in your practice, but also your team so they can stay sane and be more efficient with their time elsewhere. That's more important than just doing mundane things.
Right. Just like with insurance, you know, we don't want the membership concept to become so time consuming of the front office team. We want them to focus on customer service and patient care, right? And so that's where, again, having systems in place that automate processes, you know, is just going to help the practice to be more efficient.
Absolutely. Yes. So how often, like how fast do you guys see results? Because I'm sure a lot of times you're like, oh, you turned it on, now what? Like how fast do you start seeing?
Yeah. So actually, and I think I sent you some slides on this as well. So just to kind of give you, you know, some statistics that are kind of enlightening. So when we started, again, back just a few.
Okay, cool. Well, there you go. Is it that one?
Yeah, there you go. So so this kind of just shows you, you know, membership programs can start to be successful immediately. And the nice thing about membership programs is that it is going to generate recurring revenue for the practice. So these are statistics from the practice that I managed, just to kind of give some insight as to the potential that they can have. So in our first 18 months of rolling the membership program out in our practice, we had 301 patients who signed up to our program. And in our office, we offered 3 different plans. We had a child plan, an adult plan, and a perio plan. And so from the membership fees that these patients were paying to us when they signed up for the program, in 18 months, we had 301 members sign up, which generated a revenue of close to $110,000 for us. So then if you'll go to the next slide. So then we closely tracked and measured what we were proposing for treatment to all of our member patients and then what they were accepting and completing. And so we found that in 18 months, we proposed $254,000 of treatment to all of our member patients, of which they accepted and completed 220,000. So we had an 87% treatment acceptance rate. Again, these are for our cash patients in 18 months. And so those were the revenues we were able to generate from the treatment that was being performed. So then on the next slide, it'll show you that, So it'll show you that from the membership fees to purchase the program, plus the treatment that was being accepted and completed by those 301 patients in the first 18 months, our practice generated an additional revenue of $330,000. And that's why I'm doing what I do today.
Those are some serious numbers. Wow.
Where again, that's where, you know, we're passion driven, and that's where, you know, and we're dentally educated. So it's like we want to help other practices see these kind of statistics. And that's where we strive to do everything we can to help practices, you know, be successful when they're offering a membership program.
Well, and I think what's key too is this is all in-house. Like this is all your own. Like that's incredible to be able to make that kind of money and know where it's going. So that's, wow. Just learning that for a second. That's mind blown. For sure.
It's definitely an opportunity that dentists, you know, again, it's becoming a vital component of any dental practice, and whether they do it on their own or they do it with a company like Smile Advantage, bottom line is you have to have a membership program.
Absolutely. So for those people, Katie, that are wanting to learn more about Smile Advantage or want to be able to contact you, how can they contact you?
So probably the best way to get in touch with me, and actually I think, yeah, perfect. You're on top of it, Abby. Probably the best way is to email me. So that is my personal email. It's my first name, Katie, Katie, at smileadvantage.com. You're also welcome to send me a text or call me on my cell phone, which is the number listed here on the screen, the 314-885-4640. And then on our website, there's actually a link that will allow you to schedule a demo with me as well. So if you're wanting to see how our software works, or you're wanting to see some of the custom marketing that we've designed for practices that we work with, you know, we can always jump on a demo and I can show you all of that as well.
Wow. Thank you so much, Katie, for joining me today. This has been so insightful. I love being able to talk about membership programs. I think it's just so key for now and into the future of dentistry, that it's just going to keep bringing back to dental practices and give them the control that they want.
It was my pleasure, Abby. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I remember Ryan was telling me, he's like, oh man, he's like, you and Abby are going to be a dynamic duo. He's like, you guys both have such bubbly personalities. He's like, I can't wait to watch this. So hopefully everyone that's listening in today enjoyed what we talked about. And yeah, thank you again for the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody stay tuned for more to come. Katie, we're going to be doing more stuff like this. So if you have me, but it's Ryan for sure. He called it really well. No, this has been so fun, so insightful. I love the numbers that you were able to bring to and just really drive it home. To be able to talk about how it benefits the practice, especially from your own perspective and the fact or your own experience, and how it's brought to life. In case you haven't thought of it today, Katie, you should feel very, very proud of everything that you've come up with and accomplished, from seeing a problem and having a solution, and now having solutions in all kinds of different dental practices across the U.S. So,
thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you again for joining me, and everybody out there, thank you for joining us for lunch today. Love to have you back next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Time. I'll be joining the VP of Growth at Kyle Johnson. So patient communications, a little bit more of automations, educational, and emails, right? And we understand the full patient experience. I'm excited to have you guys. See you guys next week with Kyle. And thanks again, Katie.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.